Snore Lord.
Did it go live?
Now it is. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the late night on This Be TruckN. It's your girl 40 Shades.
What you say?
We live.
What's up? What's up? Well, we just let somebody get in here first.
We got 2 people.
Ain't nobody in here.
There's 2 people. Hope you guys are doing good on this Friday evening. We just kind of hanging out. Figured we come on live and see who else is up.
We got 2 people. What's up? Somebody tell me if y'all can hear us.
Not typing here. Get the conversation going. Hope you guys
Can
are
I
being
get a
safe.
mic check? Can I get a mic check?
Get this straight. Well, anyway, we're going to go ahead and get this started today. Today's Friday, April the 3rd. Many people are out there. If you're a truck driver, hopefully you're out there running, making some money. If you're at home being quarantined, hopefully you got work to do. You're staying busy, not letting this lockdown get to you, keeping yourself busy during this time. We've been trying to do little odds and ends around the house to kind of keep ourselves going and motivated. I'm guilty of not doing the things that I'm supposed to do. I told myself I was going to clean up my closet, get rid of clothes, spring cleaning time. I haven't did that yet. And every time I go in that closet, it constantly reminds me what I need to be doing, but I don't. I just don't have the motivation quite yet. But I think it'll kick in soon.
What's up? We got 3 people in here. Can you guys hear us? Yay, nay, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I don't like that angle.
Huh?
I don't like that angle. Hey, Life Lessons with Divine Earth. That's my girl. Thank you for joining us.
What's up?
We talked to them earlier today.
Can you guys hear
She
us?
said yes, you can hear us.
Okay.
Can you switch to the other camera? Sorry guys, we're trying to get set up. We're still trying to learn this new system here.
Is that better?
Yes, that is better. Switch over. Definitely switch over. It may take a second to go ahead and switch over. We got a small delay. But like I was saying, I need to get in the house and clean the cupboards and clean the closet. I just don't have the motivation to do it. Even though we have the time to do it, we've been doing other stuff. Because once we get back in the truck, the stuff that we need to do, we're not going to do. So.
Yeah. But how's everybody? Everybody good? Here's a little topic I wanted to discuss tonight. I was reading an article out of CDL Life, and they were talking about, I guess there's a couple of those, like OIDA and Truckers of America. They've kind of reached out to, I'll just say, the administration on, like things like personal protection equipment for drivers that are still out there and, making deliveries every day. Things like masks and gloves. And also they was talking about, what was it? Getting drivers that are still out there over the road, someplace, somewhere to get them tested, But hope to hear something positive about that, because I think that's something that, with us going from shipper to shipper as we do, we could walk right into a zone that has somebody that's
just got through coughing through there.
Just got through coughing, already infected, whatever the case may be. Really good. So I hope something really comes of that.
And I notice more people are being more creative online and making their own masks because there is a shortage of masks. But I think it's YouTube. I've seen Etsy. People are showing people how to make their own masks out of bandanas. Somebody made out of paper towel. Just being creative on what they have because they're not sure when the next set of masks are going to come through. We actually have some of these. My husband.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I seen something about GM.
Ford, I think it was Ford.
Was behind, pushing for,
yeah,
manufacturing a lot of the masks and things of that nature. It seems like we're so behind the 8 ball on this whole thing. Right. It's, I don't know. It just seems like we should have been ahead of it a little bit more than we are. But yeah, and that's another thing. Now, I don't know how true I could, it was from a credible, is that the word I'm looking for? Credible
source.
A credible source. Mm-hmm. With a doctor. I mean, he's a virus specialist, and I don't know if anybody's seen that Jada Pickett thing, but
Red Table Talk.
Red Table Talk is what it was, but they had a doctor on there, and that doctor was speaking about your basic surgical mask was really not breaking down the part, because I guess the particles are so fine that your basic surgical mask is not really doing a whole lot for you. You do need what she was just showing you here, and this is a N5 part. That's more of a respirator type of mask for painting or something like that. So. Well, that's my understanding, though, that the surgical mask that you normally see is really not doing the job, I guess. And I guess also, and I don't know, because we run around here looking like we finna rob people at one point, thinking something like that would work, but. The reality is we don't even know if that works. Like she was just saying, people trying to be, what was your word? To make their own mask.
They're being creative. They're being creative.
But do we know?
We don't.
So.
And that's the one thing, because like with it being so new, we don't know what's going on. If it's airborne, is it by touching metal? I mean, I've heard stories that it sticks on your clothes. You got to wipe your shoes off. When as soon as you come in, you got to shower. So it's so much speculation. And I think that's what's causing the anxiety and the fear among people, because nobody knows exactly what's going on. So you're taking all precautions to make sure that you're not contaminating your family by just doing what you think is right. And until they, I guess, come out with the final definition on what we're supposed to be doing, it's almost like you're just guessing. I mean, you're just trying to stay away from people. But if you're like us, drivers or essential workers, you're doing the best you can to cover yourself, in those type of environments. And I've, seen the news today was talking about now more and more of our healthcare workers are starting to get the coronavirus because they don't have enough equipment to keep themselves covered. They're seeing a spike in number of our healthcare workers now catching it. So
Yeah.
Seems like it's not a no-win situation right now.
It is kind of crazy. I mean, you know, I look at, you know, I haven't talked about this, but, you know, my sister passed. Well, my sister, we had to take her off her machines. Guess we did that. When did we get home?
They did that on Friday.
We came home to try to say our last goodbyes, and, you know, kind of a little backstory. I guess it's been, my sister had a heart attack almost 2 months ago or more.
Yeah, January 24th.
You know, pretty serious heart attack, and really never came back from it. You know, really never came back from it. But with that being said, you know, we came to a decision to take her off the machines and things. But just with all that, you know, you can't go to, you know, they were in her last days, they was only let one of us a day come up to the hospital.
In a 24-hour period.
Yeah, in a 24-hour period. You know, it wasn't like one at a time, but one visitor a day period, you know, that type of thing. And of course, that made it difficult, especially after, you know, coming to the decision, which was hard, I tell you, to take her off her, that which was keeping her alive. You know, we all kind of wanted to go and pay our last respects, you know, while she had breath in her body, but we didn't get to do that, you know. And I guess what I'm getting at is just with all this going on, it's impacting life as we know it in so many different ways. You know, it really is. They're genuinely talking about, at first, we could only have 10 people at the funeral, at the service. They did, I think in the end, they said we could have 25 or so.
Up to 30.
Up to 30.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, you know, if you know my sister, a lot more than 30 people want to show up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
they will allow whoever can't make it online services. So that's what they're doing now. If the funeral, if there's more people that's going to attend, they're going to stream it online for those that can't attend. So that was a good positive as well, that we can have other family members attend online that couldn't make it there. So and just seeing the stories, you know, even with those that are passing away from corona, you see more and more states are saying that it's just too many bodies to contain. I mean, the mortuaries are full. You know, they can't have funerals right away because they just have so many people passing away at once that it's hard to keep up with them. They're showing them in reefer trailers in New York.
Was that out in New York?
Yeah, that was in New York. There was about 40 reefer trailers that they had lined up because the mortuaries could not contain all the bodies they had, so they were starting to put them in reefers. So it's like, when you seen that, it kind of made you look like, wow, you know, we got to the point that now we're putting bodies in reefers. You know, that wasn't the intent for the reefer trailer. You know, it was made for food and keeping things cool or whatever we needed to do, but never a body. So it's just kind of weird to kind of see that stuff come across the news. So you just really got to limit your news source and, you know, try not to get consumed. I try to keep 15 to 30 minutes worth of news on, get what I can, and then I try to stay out for the rest of the day, because it can become saddening when you hear the numbers and that there's no cure and how much more we got to be quarantined until the 30th of April, then the end of May. You know, they make it seem like it's something that we can't recover from, which we have. You know, the Spanish flu and other things that come in the past, we've overcame.
What is the Spanish flu?
Well, that's what I've heard. Like there was another bigger flu back in the day that was just as big as Corona that killed a lot of people. So I don't know the exact details of it, but I'm just saying, like smallpox and other things that took out people, we've overcame it. And I wish the news would be more adamant about showing those that have recovered, those that are coming through. I mean, it's so quick to say death, 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 or not recovered, not recovered. It does make people feel like doom and gloom and depressed, like, you know, bad enough our finances, you know, are becoming affected. it's like now you're saying that health-wise we're not recovering either. So we need to hear positive news to come across the news. We need to have someone come up and be uplifting with uplifting news. I mean, it's like I said, you can only take so much negative news, and then you're being quarantined from other people, so no longer interaction. So it's just like, to me, it just would be nice to hear more positive news on the news. So I have to distance myself from the news and let it go altogether, because it can become too consuming after a while.
Right. Oh, Life Between the Lines says that the TA has masks.
Living between the lines.
Living between the lines. I'm sorry. When I say life?
Yeah.
What? Life? Living?
No, I think you're getting.
Y'all between
life.
the lines.
Living between the lines, yeah.
All right. But has
TA mat.
with masks with replaceable filters. That's cool.
At the TA. So check them out, you guys. For my drivers, they're saying check out the TA, that they do have masks with replaceable filters.
Thank you to their life lessons. You know, I appreciate that.
Like I said, we got to stay positive. We got to find things that are going to keep us motivated. And, you know, it is something serious, and I'm not saying not to take it as that, but we have to continue to live. We got to continue to provide for our families. We got to continue to uplift our families, the ones that may be not in a good spot right now. And
yeah, I just think, you know, you do have to. I understand the social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
I get it, you know, but I still think, you know, with the technology we got nowadays,
right?
Facebook, your brother, your sister, your mom, if your mom is still here, you know, that type of thing. Right. You can still chop it up with your family, and, you know, don't just isolate yourself with all this going on. That's not good. I just definitely don't think that's good.
Mm-mm. Yeah, you definitely use those Google Hangouts, Zoom, Skype, and start hosting communities. I mean, I've seen today, I did a margarita makeup party. We just basically just sat there and learned how to put on makeup. You see different DJs coming on and hosting about a 3 to 4 hour series.
I went to a blues
music
club in my head last night, just watching what was the kid
Steve.
from somebody from Alabama?
Yeah, Steve from Alabama. He had like 7,000 views.
Oh, he went old school on the blues.
Yes.
Man, it was real. You know, reminded me when I was a kid. You know, you be listening to your moms and pops jamming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had one of those type of flashbacks.
Yeah, 3 hours straight. So people are being really creative about the time that they do have, and get your kids involved. I mean, I know your kids are missing their schoolmates, their playmates. Set up time where they can actually talk to them, because a lot of these kids are now on the Xbox, the PlayStation, and they're just playing games all day. So take them off the games and actually get them some interaction. Have them talk to their friends. I know homeschooling is tough, because I've seen parents leave things on the internet that say, I applaud the teachers. You know, you don't know how much a teacher does for your child and what they put up with until you have to do the homeschooling yourself. So it's going to be a new norm, you guys. I mean, what was normal before, this whole virus is going to change things to a new normal. I mean, what was done before may not be done the same way. Think about Netflix. They've been streaming for a while. But think about it. We've been inside and everyone is streaming, catching up on shows. Once we get back to our new normal, what's going to happen to the movie theaters? I mean, because you're getting content for free now through Netflix, Hulu, and other streams of streaming. Do you want to pay the $20 to go to the movies when you can get it free there?
That could be. You know, I think also just with the jobs that are have been able to work from home.
Yes, that's true.
You're probably gonna see, you know, you could see. I don't know if it's gonna go that way, but you could see, hey, let's just keep that in place. We don't need a building.
That's true. Yeah, think about the cost savings.
Well, that's it. You know, I mean, if they feel like they got the type of people that, you know, that can work from home, you know, because if I can see where that could be an issue too, you know. are you really at work?
Because I remember when me being a manager, when we had to pay a monthly cost for our building, it was over $30,000 a month to, have the building, the plumbing.
The building itself, yeah.
It was $30,000. So you think if they can now have you work from home and save that money, 30,000 times 12, that's plenty of money that they can now be saving while you're working at home. So I can see where businesses are now thinking, okay, well, people are working from home. Can we use that or capitalize on that and start moving our workers to a home base and still do the same quality and the same things we do by saving money? So, exactly. I mean, they do an online school now. Kids that go online school, they've been doing online school. Now you got kids in a public school setting trying to transition. It's a little bit harder, but they've been doing it. So.
Yeah, it could happen. I don't know. I don't know. Right out the gate that's the way it'll be. After recovery, because.
Got to make up the money somehow. I don't know. They might.
Yeah. Well,
they gone for 2 or 3 months. They got to find money to recoup real quick.
There's going to be certain places you probably do not want to shop because they're going to be gouging.
Price gouging?
They're going to be gouging.
I really hope
when they open back up,
Yeah, I mean, our nephew, he was telling us he's about 17 and he worked at Subway and he was supposed to go to work. And on Monday, they basically let everybody go. And so they told them to come back in a few days to grab their paycheck. When they come back, they don't have their paycheck.
Still didn't have their paycheck.
So basically, they can't pay the kids or whoever was working, and they're going to keep one person on, staffed at all time. But the other 6 or 7 that were working are no longer working, and they don't know when they're getting a paycheck. And the manager literally told them that he has to pay his rent, so he can't pay them right now. Now, what kind of sense does that make? Now, of course, if you're a kid, you're not going to have too much of a voice. But if you're an adult that has to pay bills, you telling me you got to pay your rent has nothing to do with me in the last 2 weeks that I work. Right. I'm going to need my paycheck.
I think they're doing them that way because they probably are under, 18 or under.
Probably so.
I bet you, they're probably not having that same discussion with someone
that's of age
that has,
rent
and stuff like that to pay.
Right.
But either way, that's not right.
It's not right. Yeah.
Subway doing that.
Right.
They should make sure that they get their last check. It's one thing that you got to let them go.
Right.
But you should make sure that they get their last check without any issues.
Right. And that's the thing. And for those that may be in the same situation, your job did let you go, make sure you're filing unemployment. If you've been there for a while, go online, file unemployment. If you can't get something right away, talk to your landlord or the person that holds your mortgage, ask for an extension. You got to be proactive at this point. Don't just assume because everybody's going through this same thing that they're going to give leeway. Know for yourself and reach out to the people that you pay your bills to, the ones that hold your mortgage, your car payment, whatever. Make sure you're being proactive and actually reach out to them and ask for an extension, because they're not going to come out and say, we will do it for you, because they're hoping you pay your bills on time. But make sure you be proactive and say, hey, times is getting tough. I'm not going to be able to pay you guys for the next 30, 60 or whatever days. And be upfront. That way you know for sure what their recourses are going to be. And you're not caught off guard when they're turning off the lights or sending you that 30-day notice. You are already proactive and letting them know. And also, like I do, when I talk to anybody on the phone, I record the call. So that way, if something comes up and they said they didn't say it, I make sure I record my call. You said I had 60 days to pay my bill. This is the day I spoke to you and this is who I spoke to. And I keep the recording on my phone until that situation passed. So always cover yourself in these situations when you have to. I'm sorry, just talking. Just trying to, the key just ran out the way. But like I said, you got to definitely be proactive. And even though they talk about the stimulus check, no one knows the date when they will come out. Some are saying September, some are saying July. And the money that they're going to give, you can't wait that long, to pay that bill. And another thing to keep in mind is the stimulus check is exactly what it is, to pay a bill. Don't use this if you need it. Don't use this and spend money on stuff that you don't have no business spending it on. If they're going to give you $1,200, use that money to pay that bill that you need to pay. Don't go buy no new shoes. Don't go fund no trip, because we don't know how long this may last, and that might be the money you need to keep your family afloat.
You can't tell them grown folks how to spend their money.
I'm just saying, it's already a tight spot now. I'm just saying, just be mindful of your money, because they don't give money like that all the time. So.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a minute before we get that anyway. If you get that,
right?
And, that is what it is. It's just like they have, going back to the nephew losing his job. That same stimulus package is supposedly a part of it is supposed to fund businesses so that they can pay their employees,
right,
to keep them working, But of course, ain't none of that money touching nobody's hands yet. So
yeah, that's true.
That's you may or may not. That's how I look at that.
Yeah. I say this is the time to reassess your family budget. I know I said it before in a previous video, but it's time to get serious, you guys, because like I said, we don't know how long this is going to last. We don't know how long the job situation is going to be. So this might be a time that you want to start buckling down and start looking at your finances, seeing where you can cut back at. If you have Hulu and Netflix, maybe you need to cut back on one. If you don't need that high stream internet, you got to cut back. You got to do what you got to do in these times. When things get better and things pick up and you decide that you maybe want to increase your expenses, then do so. But if you don't know how your job situation is going to be, this is the time that you want to sit down and actually look at your budget and see where you can save money. As I said, you just don't know. Even with the trucking industry, I've noticed that the loads that we used to take that might have paid $1,500, $2,000 are now $1,700, $1,500, or $1,300. So the price is going down on the loads, on some of the loads that were like dedicated lanes that were the same price before, the prices are changing. So
yeah, well, that's kind of impacted both ways because your fuel prices is going down. So I think a lot of that, when you think about, and I just use the example, a $1,700 load that normally pays, for 800 miles, normally $400 of that 1,700 is your fuel surcharge.
Right.
So being that fuel, I'm hearing, I know before we came home, what did I pay? $2.35 at one place.
Yeah.
$2.35 for fuel, diesel fuel. That's good. So things like that's what's kind of impacting them so far. I do think you probably have loads that definitely need to be moved. Probably are paying, a little bit better than they normally would. Whether it be water, toilet paper,
right.
Those necessities that they're trying to keep up with. Because I guess, you kind of have to wonder on a day-to-day, we make purchases as consumers.
Right.
But I understand all of a sudden all of us run out on the same day and make these purchases, and we'll empty the shelves. But in most cases, something was on the way anyway, should have been. That's just how it is. And when you think about what we do as drivers, is a lot of time is their shelves are warehoused on the trailer that you're moving.
Right.
It's not like they're keeping this stuff in their store. It's the next, truck that comes in that they replenish the shelves with. So it's almost you got to think you order another load a couple more loads and you could catch up fairly quick.
You
But
think.
it doesn't seem like that's happening. You
No,
know,
especially with the water and toilet paper, it's still like empty shelves at Walmart. And if there is something available, they're only allowing you to get quantity of one. So Walmart, they're definitely behind the ball a little bit, but I think because everybody goes to Walmart anyway, so they kind of grab that up real quick and then it's gone. If you come in the afternoon, you've already missed the morning shipment, so you probably have to be a little bit more proactive and get up in the morning to get your stuff if you need be. So,
well, folks, we was just checking in. You know, we sitting here at the crib. That's all. Wanted to see what was happening out there. Who was up with us this late night?
Yes, yes, yes.
You know, like I say, we just chilling. Just chilling.
Yep.
So
Just hanging out. Just wanted to check in with you guys and make sure you guys are doing well as usual and being safe and quarantine for those that are home. But make sure you guys are taking it seriously. I know you want to get outside, but if they're telling us to stay in, or if you're not an essential worker, make sure you stay. Essential worker. Essential worker. Yeah, that's what I call essential worker. Please stay home. You don't want to get these babies sick or the ones that have underlying health issues or the elderly sick. So just be mindful. If we take care of it now, we can all get back outside and back to normal later. So.
all right, y'all. Y'all know what to do. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll get at y'all the next time.
Yes.
We out of here.
Peace.